So let's launch into this ladder game. It is going on a current ladder rotation map, so you have seen it before, and anybody who's on the ladder rotation will know it. It is Hrungdax Canyon. We know Hrungdax. We have the channel up the left hand side, channel down the right hand side. We have the plateau in the middle, which is all perfectly mirrored for these guys. So let us just do our usual sorting up here and take it out to the players. First off, for the blue team, team number 1 here at the top hand side, it is playing 33. Don't know why he's playing 33 times, but he's the air player, if you will. And anyway, he started on his first air factory, throwing down a few pigeons beside it because his hydro is over there. It's a wee bit of a distance to walk, so understandably we're going to get a few pigeons down to help with that. In front of him, in the cyan color, it is a Cyan Cybran, and this is Zup. Just gonna call him Zup, much easier. Anyway, his Cybran, as mentioned, is popping down his first land factory here, getting some power generation going on. And beside him in the middle is another UEF. It is KWBRD. KW is in lavender, and I'm gonna call him Kiwi Bird. Yeah. No, it's like Kiwi Bird, and I'm a Kiwi, and I don't care if it's supposed to be Kiwi Bird or not, because that's what I'm going to call him. That's Kiwi Bird, with the eyes taken out. So he's the no-eyed Kiwi Bird. There we go. And finally, for team number 1 over here on the right-hand side, it is Arane, also UEF. And he's got a couple of pigeons here beside his factory, throwing some engines off to build that, and getting his last mix down. And so that's very low in the racial diversity for team number 1. We have 1, 2, 3 UEF and a single Cybran. Let's see how this composition works. I'm going to have an introduction of team number 2. First up, team number 2 in the rear guard position, it is Noldor. Noldor is red and he's Seraphim. He's working on his 4th PG, whilst the Hydro has been claimed by by his teammate, Yellow Cybran, Terminator. There's no T in there, it's just the Terminator. Anyway, Termi is building some pigeons. Looks like maybe he's going to grab his own air factory. Who knows? That seems like an interesting idea. Beside him in the middle, another Cybran in the orange color, and it is Han. Han is getting himself the edge build. As is not a bad idea. A lot of people do that. Just get your comm near the edge, throw the factory down so you can get a presence up on the plateau. And finally, for team number 2, over on the left-hand side, and already walking all the way up here with this commander, it is Hagara Hugara. I'm probably just calling him Hagara, maybe Haga, something like that. Anyway, he's Cybran, and again we have 3 factions the same and 1 different. 3 Cybran, 1 Seraphim, so no Aeon represented, 1 single Seraphim, 3 UEF and 4 Cybran. Cybran seems to be down with that, but we have our first little wee problem unit out, and that is a bomber from Terminator. And Terminator is looking for some engineers. Got the scout going on overhead. He has the bomber seeking a target. There's a target. It's going to collect some bombs to the face. No, it's going to miss horribly. And not actually going to get anything done. No interceptors in the sky though, so it's going to come back around for a second pass, and that's going to be a dead engineer. Actually, maybe not reverses, but not quite enough. The bombers do collect, and the engineer is gone from this world. Next engineer under threat is this one over here, trying to sit still and pray it doesn't get noticed. It doesn't work like that, buddy. Boom. 2 dead NGs. 1 more, and that bomber has paid for itself. Trying to find something to collect. No engineer up here. There's one over here. And still no interceptors to slow them down. I do have a counter T1 bomber, but that's a jester as well now. So looking for more targets. Definitely need to get some kind of interceptors up in the sky. Going for a transport. Oh yeah, who's making air on this team? Apparently nobody, because now this bomb's going to pick up 3rd kill over here. This engineer is going to hook it. Yep, just turned a little bit too late. 3 kills for that bomber, and is more than happy to carry on this way. Jester overhead, as mentioned, been killing off units, having a grand old time by himself. 3 kills there, going to grab a 4th of that NG, maybe a 5th out of there. T1 bomber is going for this Mantis, which has turned up and caused a bit of an issue. But now the T1 bomber has got the attention of an anti-air unit, smoothed on over, and it's going to either need to run away or bomb that unit, although there's another anti-air coming, so it's not going to get a lot done on that front. Don't really have the Jester. Here it is. 4 kills for that little guy. He's quite happy with himself. Just going to take a break. Just going to take a break. Sit there. Little jester. I hate the things. Okay, down in this direction, some more mantis coming up this way, and need to get them strikers helping out. I'll kill off that mantis nice and easy. The radar gets focused down, and that's never a good thing. Engineer dies. This mantis has done good work. There's a single Medusa back here, looking like it's going to have a go at that mass extractor, but has to change his mind because he gets pushed by a couple of strikers, which sit still. Ooh, pound. Pound? Is that even a word? It's a word now. That striker took a hit, and it does not happen a grand old time. In the middle, this is Kiwibird. Building up some more eco, does not have much in the way of unit support, and is going to have a problem soon if he does not catch up to this. This is a gun upgrade going down for Han in the middle. Kiwibird is not upgraded and does not have a lot of units. Really needs to work on something for support before this becomes a dire issue. On the left hand side we see a gun upgrade going down for Zup. It's got some units pushing him, but they wouldn't even trouble the commander anyway. Just by themselves. So there is some T1 artillery. This would be an issue. We see a drop sneaking around the edge here. There's a few engineers on that, and the question is, where are they going and what are they going to go for? Alright, over here we see there was an engineer trying to put up a T1 PD, and instead Kiwibird just decided to nix that, but now Kiwibird has double trouble. Then comes old Terminator. Of course, no upgrade on that commander, but the gun upgrade is nearly done for Han, and that is something to be scared of. Don't know how much scouting there is. There's none. The radar doesn't reach very far. Doesn't reach quite far enough, and there's been no scouts heading over this way, so I don't think he's got any idea he's about to face two commanders, especially as Han has finished the gun upgrade, and here comes the Cybran Com stalking his prey. And those couple of shots there and the firing should be an indicator for Kiwibird, if they're paying attention, to get the hell out of dodge. Not walk towards, and Kiwibird is in a big pile of trouble. And I'm in a big pile. Facing off against gun com, we don't have one. Facing off against two comms is even worse, and this might be an early ejection for team number 1. Kiwibird overextending with their commander, getting absolutely hammered. Han, even by himself without any support, would be able to directly face our Kiwibird, but there are units coming in and units from Han as well. Then you throw into the mix a bit of Terminator, and he's going to have a awful time. Is Kiwibird. Units are coming and popping down the extra bit of damage, but it's mostly coming from the commander right now, and this is going to be Kiwibird ejected under 8 minutes. 1,800. Han is perfectly healthy. Down he goes, and Kiwibird, boom. That is the end of him there. Han's not looking terribly healthy, but he has got a commander kill to his name, and now what? Left hand side we see Zup has finished his gun upgrade and is pushing with a bunch of units, doing some good work down that side. Haguro needs to be a wee bit careful though, he does not have gun on his commander, and if they meet it's going to be advantage. Zup, who also has some units in support. Over here that drop did come down this point, but got quickly dissuaded by a large number of bombers who can now turn their attention up this way. Good evening, Zeta. No, this is not a live game, this is a replay. I look for replays to cast because they're a bit more stable and I know what's going to happen. Live games can be tricky, sometimes you don't know if they're going to be good or bad. So when I'm doing a cast, it's always a replay. Well, most of the time a replay, unless I say otherwise. We've got TT going down the right hand side here for Arane. He's holding his channel okay. He's possibly going to lose the midsection though. He's got units pushing on up and not much on the ground to slow them, plus there's a commander somewhere. No, he's fallen back. Undersized to fall back, he's killed one commander. Doesn't need to really push that at all. Zup on the left hand side doing great work here. He's pushed right up this alleyway. Does have the units and support as mentioned. Guncom's going to be absolutely fine. He can take out all of this. Probably doesn't quite want to push Haguro though. Best to let that go, I think, especially with, there we go, C1 bomber spam, and I think they're focusing down the anti-air, which is something that Zup is going to need very, very shortly. Lots of T1 bombs floating overhead, and there is some anti-air in the mix, but Zup may want to think about falling back a wee bit and getting some air support assistance from his friend Arane. Another drop attempt over this side. This time it's going to run into a bunch of interceptors. Wants to get on the ground before this happens. Oh, there we go. Spotted and blapped. At 6 units. Bit of a mass donation. Literally just giving it over to your So there is a couple of anti-air in this spot. Don't want to walk your commander into them, because then the bombs will fall on the anti-air, and that is going to reduce their effectiveness. You can't shoot things down if you're dead. But enough of them there now, and I think the bombers are going to be fine, and Zup is going to get out of there. Yep, this is gone. More units. Not much build power. There's one factory left, popping out units. Not for long though. These guys can just push right on up and kill everything off. Trying to build some more factories with a couple of engineers down here, but of course they're not going. Maybe they're not going to finish, depending on what happens with these. Got some bombers overhead, but anti-air is doing the trick. And there we go. Ice Arty, T1 Arty is going to bomb things away, and that is all she wrote for the plateau for team number 1. They now have to try and get up there the hard way via the side. Right then, speaking of the side, hello. Let's go check on RNA. That's a T2 point defense, and that's a tack launcher. Interesting. Can fire down, and that's exactly what's happening. In fact, he's edge built a freaking factory. This was fun, and Terminator kind of needs to be a bit careful there. It's taking some damage from the T2 PD up this way. There are units on the ground. He stands still. He's not going to have a good time of it, especially with the T1 artillery. All those shells are coming over down under 5,000, just basically standing there tanking it, which is not a great idea. And I was about to say, if that attack missile could have tacked the comp, who's maybe a wee bit mobile, but now needs to redirect that point defense over this way to defeat this incoming horde. But the point defense is far more interested in the commander down there, who Terminator needs to get away from that. He's going to survive just. The point defense is going to go down. He's under 1,000 hit points. That was, I don't know if that was bold or stupid. Really don't know. But either way, it's a lot of damage there, and the tack launcher does get another missile off. It's going to run afoul of some TMD, and it's not going to get a lot done. But that is, honestly, Terminator just stuffing his face tanking. I don't know if he knew the trade was there, but it was, and it absolutely hurt. And in comes some T1 bombers. That could be a problem if there's no air to slow them down. Some anti-air turrets here, but if they swing in the right direction, they won't get hit too much, a bit of a distance away. And Terminator now needs to be a... oh no. Good anti-air turret been thrown up there. He should be fine from this point on. Okay, in the middle, more action going on here. We've got a couple of Sparkies. I hear a Sparky, sorry, this guy. He's having a shot at some T1 units. But he can kind of look after himself against a couple of T1 units, but not against a whole bunch like that. And that is one dead Sparky over that side. Renee has pushed right on back up here with his commander. Looks like he's going to rebuild some of those. Except I think he just overcharged his own wreck. That was less than useful. And trying to get up the T2PD whilst there is incoming rocket bots. That's not going to be helpful for your health. Boom, boom, boom. Down goes the mass extractor, and now that can focus on the hoplite. The hoplite starts to move up, maybe a little bit too late. Runs away, gets bombed down. This one moves on up, just taking some shots as well. Spectacular. Boffage. Dodges up the hill. Ooh, a wee bit of a dodge there. Swing sideways, but not quite enough. Now the Mantis coming in. And I don't know, maybe there's enough. Although RNA is there with his gun on his comm, so he'll be able to assist with that. Not enough there to oust him alone. Let alone with the fact he's got a point defense helping out. Okay then. This middle section still trying to get onto the plateau. Sparky's having another go of us. We do have fun shooting units. They can get something up. It's going to be very helpful. So they can build and shoot at the same time, but sitting still whilst being shot at, well, they barely survived. But they're getting that. They're getting the. Yeah. Try is going up, and that is going to be helpful at trying to hold the mid plateau. So despite the best efforts of team number 2, they haven't been able to hold the plateau. But that is T3. So Hagura has switched up to T3. He's been given a bit of time to eco. He has a T3 HQ there. He's got some T3 engines out, and it's starting to build up some power because he kind of needs it to run T3. But that is a problem on the left-hand side. I think Zup needs to get his commander back over that direction. Although he does got T3 of his own. has a T3 factory, no engines out just as of yet, but he's going to need to do something to slow down these loyalists. His commander would be a good choice with overcharge, he can take them out pretty good, or bricks. But he's got to do something to slow that down. Even air would be handy. Some bombers would do these loyalists quite nicely. Right then, back up here, and RNA has consolidated his position here. He's got that tech launcher with another couple of kills to his name, so he's found some gaps in the tech defense. Certainly looking for it. Some units over here sitting still, they're being turned into piles of reclaim. Some Tier 1 RD lobbing their shells over the edge whilst these guys shoot the ground because, you know, fuck the ground. That's how we play the game. But there's more Sparkies pushing in and they're just doing a bit of a triad creep. So they're point against creep from these guys, they're having a go at it, doing what they can. There we go, loyalists have been starting to get hounded by some Tier 1 bombers and the strat's going to be great. Team number 1, although doing a U-turn in front of a huge number of interceptors is not great for your health. So can it get out of range is the question. The answer is no. It gets shot down. It was going to be very, very useful for taking out those loyalists, but unfortunately the interceptors turned up exactly the right time to catch it on the turn while it's going slow and be destroyed. T1 bombers though, they're still having a go at these guys, seeing what they can do. There is a brick on the way and there's a commander on the way too. Not going to be able to hold, well, they're not going to survive for long basically. But job done for them. They've knocked off a couple of mexes and looks like T2, yeah, a couple of T2 mass extractors, good enough. But brick, equals dead loyalists. There we go, bricks on in, commanders in with the overcharge, and we're going to see these guys just fall out of the sky, especially when those overcharges rock on an end of loyalists. Okay. Wood Raid was all that was planned. Mahagara, he threw those in just to be annoying, focused on his eco a little bit, and some build power, and he's good to go. Over the side, and RNA is looking quite happy where he is. He's got a couple of point defense, he's got some tactical missile defense, he's got a bit of flak, he's got that tech launcher which is having some fun, and he's rebuilding a factory down here so he can grab some of the reclaim that's sitting there, I would imagine. Okay, in the middle we have a large number of units preparing to swarm, but they're going to run into a very stubborn amount of point defense, so those Sparkies, they're very unhealthy and very dead. Unhealthy, very dead. There is... Now here comes the push of Eunice. Perhaps he wants to respond with the units of his own. These point defense are kind of in a staggered line, so they can be sort of easier killed off one by one, especially with the range from the rocket bots, so they're going to go down, and that will actually help slow this push enough that the rest of the triads will be able to clean up. Right then, and we had the T3, so the bricks are pushing on back. They're coming to say hello to the loyalists of Hagara. Should be okay for now. T1 bombers doing T1 bomber things. I imagine that they were going to go for the tech missile defense, but they got picked up by a bunch of ASFs, so no dice on there. There's also some anti-air in front of the TMD, so layers upon layers, and RNA senses that maybe he's not going to be able to knock those off, so instead he's going to go for other options. Other options being the T1 mixes back here. Might as well kill something. You built the missiles, might as well use them. That's also when you stop making missiles. T2 artillery? Why yes, T2 artillery would be great. What's range on that thing? Well, that's pretty good. You're going to be able to clear out this section here. Start by focusing down those mass extractors, taking out some eco. Be very, very handy indeed. Okay, T3 air belongs to both sides. We have a bunch of ASFs up here for playing 33. We have more ASFs down here for Noldor. Noldor up to 2 air factories, a third one being built. Here that's to this direction. We have 1, 2, 3 air factories already built. They're playing, but I think he needs to focus on his eco a bit. He does not have as many mixes at T3 as Noldor. Noldor was just a little bit ahead, I think. That's okay. In the middle though, here comes the push. We have a bunch of loyalists lining up ready to do their thing. We have T1 units here with some engineers doing the reclaim, so getting that spent mass back into his own coffers is RNA. And I think he's still going to struggle. He's definitely going to struggle with this many loyalists, not enough point defense. Got a few dotted around here and there, but the loyalists are mostly going to shrug that kind of action off, and they're going to be able to just march on through, start carving chunks out of these units in the middle. Don't even get a shot back, they do. It's just a couple of triads having a go at what they can. Not looking so good. Left hand side, push coming on slowly from Zup. He's just moving gradually back in. T3 mech's rebuilt here, not T2, but it's up and ready to go. Another T3 mech has been built there, ready to be ringed. But these loyalists now are just moving on up and carving a path. The point defense, hello, play the game, fuck the ground. Trying to kill off these Sparky that they just can't quite. There we go. When it does go down, he has lost a few loyalists, but they've killed more point defense than they've lost at this stage. They're having a grand old time. Go the push coming back in here from Zup, having to go at Nordor, wanting to clean up some units that he can. Not getting a lot done, but running into a bunch of T2 PD, no shields, but he's focusing on the units first. Bricks being very hardy as bricks are, takes a long time to kill them, but they kill them. They eventually, well, it's enough point defense there to have to do exactly that. They can move on up now and think about maybe, well, they can't sit there, but they are sitting there. This is a terrible idea. It's just free kills for the point defense being out of range, either fall back or fall forward. Pick a direction, go. And what's going on here? We have a spearhead. So RNA moving up with the spearheads, long range bombardment artillery. These things just spit out missiles. Nice long range, not quite as far as T3 artillery, but they definitely do some damage. And they can overwhelm tech missile defense with their grand old missile spam. 3 missiles per volley, you get 2 of them together, that's 6 missiles if they're firing at the same time. But the T2 artillery is having fun, has managed to take out the mass extractors up here and kill a few ASFs by the look of it, as well as a few wrecks there. Not very nice. Have your air destroyed by artillery. Right, in the middle, and those loyalists have died eventually, and they've left some nice wrecks to be picked up. So there's some NGs here from Han doing exactly the same thing. If they come in range of the T2 point defense, they won't have a good time, but they're outside of it, so yeah, they'll be right. Get some extra reclaim. Okay, let's have a look-see gateway going up for Han. He wants to get into that thing there. Still just the 3 air factories for Mr. Nordor. What's he working on? I think he's working on an upgrade, maybe T3 on his comm to get some extra build power on there. And the left hand side, excuse me, sorry. The left hand side has been reinforced. Han's joined over there with some bricks of his own. Add to that the point defense and all the build power stuff, it should be absolutely fine. The middle push is happening. There are some, there we go, some Vipers, very annoying Vipers, firing their payload down, trying to kill off anything that sits still, and anything being engineers sitting still. Engineers don't fare well against a Viper fire. But if you're in range of the point T2 PD, Vipers fare even worse than engineers. Yeah, this side, and how we look, and where are those spearheads? The spearheads have moved on. Maybe they got killed, so I'm trying to find out. I think that was the spearheads over here. Yes, it was. They were there. They got killed by something. It was a T3 bomber, or it was a T2 ID. I'm not entirely certain. Either way, they are dead out of the game, and I'm hearing a bunch of T1 bombers. There they go. They're going for this midsection, killing off a huge number of engineers, leaving these Vipers free to spam their merry way at range through the point defense. Some ASF swing in from plane 3, going to decimate the T1 bombers, leaving 1 alive, which means there's going to be less point defense, less to try and stop all of this coming on through. Over this direction, there we go, we have the T3 artillery setting up, mobile T3 RD, and they're going to do a good amount of damage to anything in the region. If they can knock out this last final tech defense, then he could start using the tech launcher. But he's using it now, and he's going for something. Maybe he's decided these things can be introduced for a real tech missile is. I think he has. That's hilarious. But you want tax? I'll give you tax. Eat this. Yeah, and he's turned them into scrap. That is quite amusing. Amusing, but it works. Right, down this direction we see T3 AD coming out from Hagara, and they're having a go at the mass extractor over there. Why not? But this direction, T1 bomber flies overhead and gets blasted by a Cougar. These T3 RDs were the target, I would imagine, but not getting a lot done there. And now the TAC missile defense is down on the plateau, so that leaves a few more things open for destruction. A single Titan comes down here, kills off some NGs, going to kill off the mass extractor next. Then you've got a factory, Hydro, another mass extractor. Pretty sure all of this is going to get turned into scrap post haste. And yep, indeedy, no TAC missile defense left here, and it's time for this to have a go at something else. What else is there to have a go at? Can maybe hit the factory. There's some TMD over here he's got to avoid. There is a T2 mass extractor down here. That is probably hittable despite being down a slope. And this is actually Terminator sitting up front with his comm. Does he know he's there? Well, he does now because he's just in a flyby. And you wonder if he's going to be the subject of a TAC attack. But there's only the one launcher. It'll take a couple of hits to actually kill him, so that's not likely to succeed. Left hand side, big push coming in from Zoop. Got a large number of units, but he is running into a large number of units. That is 7 bricks. 8 bricks, plus the point defense. Okay, he doesn't have enough of that. He needs to pull back and bring some long range options like Vipers or mobile T3RD. He needs to try and soften this up a little bit. He's not going to get much done against all of that. T1 bombers have made their way through and they've killed, I think that was the TMD, so that leaves the spot, all of this, actually open to TAC missile launching. And what's happened here? So Terminator has taken a attack to the face. Ooh, that was another one that was close. Yeah, maybe he has taken a TAC missile to the face, and that's another one coming on in. Going straight on past and takes one shot. Not quite two. The Zapper just can't get the second shot off to stop it. And that is very much a dead T2 mix. More on the way. What's this one going for? This direction. Maybe a spot at the HQ and is going for that. Should get stopped because there's 2 Zappers there. There we go. And experimental. So Yathota has been completed for Noldor. He's stuck in the air game but moved into experimental as well. And do we have any kind of answer for that? Not as of yet, but that's a nuke launcher, so right. You go experimental, I'll go nuke, and Hagara has finished a monkey, so 2 experimentals all the way up. A Rambo commander over here. He's going to have a grand old time killing off all these units. He should be absolutely fine. This has the area of effect damage, has a shield on him. He'll be able to waltz through this T2 army no sweat and probably clean up this entire top section actually. Kill them off and be good. Now, is there any kind of experimental up this direction to slow down? Oh, she's a monkey. I thought I saw another notification, but I couldn't remember where it was. But there's a monkey for Zoop, so he should be alright. He doesn't want to throw away his forces just yet. He's going to want that monkey support to do his thing. Fatboy over here will be very welcome, slowing down a Yathota. And Percy's caught at range is not what you want. You need to either fall these units back or shuffle them right in. And have a look at the Rambo guy. He's having the time of his life. Can now just stand here and clean up this entire plateau. These units, they were going to break through. The bricks have made it, supported by these T2 units, and it's just shrugging all of this, bashing on through. But the monkey turning up, without their own monkey support, they are doomed to a life of doom. Very redundant wording there. Congratulations me, but they're going to get completely cleaned up by the monkey. Maybe they could focus down and kill the T3 PGM, which is sitting on the front line. Seems like a really simple place to put it, and it looks like it's going to go down. Kaboom! Destroy everything around us. That is just brutality. And the monkey is still looking damaged right hand side. That chicken is pushing on up and it is looking very, very healthy. Don't want to land your interceptors right beside it where they can just get insta-blapped. These T3 mobile RTs are about to have a terrible, terrible time of it. But here, Fatboy needs to get in range to start firing its payload, but once it is, needs to stay at range. If that Yothoda gets anywhere close to the Fat Boy, it is a dead man in half a second flat. They die very, very quickly to Yothoda. And it is now in range, and it's time to stop and turn around, not keep moving forwards, which is exactly what is happening at the moment, and that is not good for Fat Boy health. Left hand side, Monkey is moving on up. This Monkey over here is supported by units. He should be the victor of those who decide to tangle. Fat Boy is turning around to run, but it might be a little bit too late. That Yothoda is very, very close. What kind of range does it have? Oh, it's going to catch that Fat Boy very shortly, taking a lot of damage, a massive pounding. But getting rags of energy from destroying factories, from destroying units, so the Fat Boy is just about in range, and it is still very, very healthy Yothoda, and it has far more damage capability than what the Fat Boy does. It's not even going to break into the red, I don't think, when the Fat Boy dies. Nope. Oh, maybe just. The Fat Boy is going to die, going to give it another rank of energy, and it's going to be very, very healthy indeed. What do they have to stop it? This is a very good question. Rambo come up here having fun, but maybe not in the best way. Standing still, getting pummeled by bricks. And he's actually going to die out there without getting too much more done. But the right hand side is where all that at the moment. And another Fat... Is that a second Fat Boy completed? Well, this is going to die about as fast as the first. Boom, there we go. And this chicken now of another rank of veterancy. And this is not looking great. The question is, what have they got to stop it? And the answer is... not a fucking lot. Needs something. From the air player would be great. Some gunships. Anything. Right now it's Aaron coming in. He's going to overcharge it to the face. He's got to do something. That's basically all he's got left is his commander and overcharge. Doing a decent job of it, but the chicken is focusing on everything but the commander. Aaron squeezing around behind us. But even if it dies right now, he's going to have to be worried about the death explosion. The lightning storm will do a decent amount of damage to anything in range, especially if the only thing in range is the commander, and he needs to think about backing away. It's going to go down any second now. Gunship turns up, and Arane right beside the lightning storm is going to be a problem. It focuses on him even. It doesn't even go for anything else. That's rude, but that is Arane. Arane is done by the lightning storm. One chicken rolled all the way up here, killed two Fat Boys, a whole massive army, and eventually got Arane as well. That ain't good. And now it's just in here, happily killing anything else around, like a landed broadsword. He's be ignoring that actually. Maybe decided that was an air unit, but broadsword's a broadsword. They're firing at something. In the air. Yes, yes. Now then, this nuke though, it is very, very close to loading, and what are they going to shoot at? What kind of targets do they have? Well, they can go here, they could kill Han. They could pop here and kill Terminator. Sorry, Terminator. There's no T in that. They could get two of those with one blow. On the left hand side though, it is Monkey and Chicken versus a very damaged Monkey. Not a great look on the left hand side. There's the nuke. What's he going for? Well, he's going for the T3HQ of Noldor. Wants to curve that air and kill all the eco. But hello, we do have an SMD, and it is actually, it's already loaded. It's even loading, like it's going all very nearly loaded with another anti-nuke, but it's going to be absolutely fine. That nuke is going to get shot down and nothing's going to happen. And cancelled his RAS upgrade, lost a lot of eco doing that, but they're fine. Monkey goes down over here. Still Monkey and Chicken on the rampage. These units are running the hell away because they sort of have to. That is much more than they can handle right now. They need to get out of dodge, need a lot more air. More broadswords would be good. We've got some T1 artillery wandering around just killing off mass extractors, tickling away at the eco that they can reach. And we've got another Monkey pushing up the middle. Going to run into, well, nothing of any significance that's going to slow it down. Right now those broadswords are going to be it. That nuke needed to be better. Another nuke coming out, so two nuke launches. Well, I guess two nuke launches would overwhelm a single nuke defense. Because there is only a single nuke defense. No, there's another one going up. It should be alright. But problems are all over the place. Left hand side, chicken, monkey. Middle, monkey. Right hand side, T1RT womping around. There is a small build up of broadswords. Broadswords, of course, are very nice for taking out units on the ground. And this chicken is about to find a monkey to the face, perhaps. There we go, the laser opens up, starting to do some damage, a good amount of damage, and the chicken is distracted by units. I feel like the star's focusing the monkey, only with one arm though. And it's going to take a while to kill the monkey. In fact, the monkey almost wins out on that. The chicken is going to go down, and that's going to be a lightning storm. And it's time for that monkey to die from broadswords, and all of these units need to fall back out of range of that storm. Else they're going to have a bad time of it, just like that. Oh, that lightning storm is a pain in the butt. Broadsword's doing broadsword things, and that monkey's going to take a huge amount of damage before these ASFs can get around and get in range. But there's another monkey in the middle, working his way on up. Playing has built an experimental. And also, zoop, so there's a fat boy and a monkey ready to go. These two guys are quite a healthy target, really. Healthy pair. Broadswords are going to die, but that monkey is very much hurt. Not a lot left on that, but it's the monkey up the middle that is the problem. Winding his way, saying hello to some T2PD, but really, there's nothing that's going to stop that. Fat boy is moving in range and can start unloading. There we go, shells rocking on over. Must be an Omni somewhere, because they were firing what was well outside of visual range. Sepjack. There's an Omni over there. Omni up there that was picking up the monkey, so it can't hide from that. Oh boy, doing bad boy things. Monkey down here wants to have a go at the monkey, but maybe wants to not play off the ground because, you know, that's a terrible idea. It finally comes around the corner though. Yeah, monkey on monkey action. Monkey's going to win. Funny that. It's definitely going to be Team 1 monkey that is going to win out on that front. Going to clean up the rest of them. The other monkey over here is, well, it's not dead. And it's walking up to the edge of the plateau, which is going to be a bad thing if it does that. Because there's a couple of T3 factories down here just waiting to die. And this fat boy has had to push up to try and take care of that monkey. It has problems in the form of bricks in his face. But supported by some T2PD over there, it will be okay for now. But did they lose that monkey as well? Oh dear, they did. So all sorts of monkey death going on. Still got some bricks over there. I hear another chicken over on the right hand side. That's great. For team number 2 anyway. Fat boy in the middle can now swing up onto the monkey and throw some fire down, or can move down this way and just bombard all of this with its nice long range destruction that we'll have to face up against all sorts of experimentals to do so. No, it looks like it has turned and it's going to go for the monkey. Actually makes damage there, but this is the problem. Another chicken on the right hand side trying to get some Percivals off the payload. Off the construction line and get them in to try and do some extra damage. Broadswords pop overhead and start doing their damage. But it's going to take a lot to take that chicken down. And Fat Boy has rolled up onto the monkey. This is known as not a good time and is firing at the chicken instead of the monkey right in front of it, and it's a dead Fat Boy. Oh dear. It was not so good. Chicken is looking pretty healthy. Yeah, only half dead, and it's got lots of stuff to wade through, lots of stuff to better off. Now what have they got left on the ground to slow it? Well, not a heck of a lot. They might get another nuke out. They might have been able to get 2 nukes out. If they had, would have made a difference. That nuke defense is not loaded. This nuke defense is loaded with, well, it'll be loaded with 2 by the time their nukes are ready. So they wouldn't have quite managed to do it. Satellite overhead. That is an interesting choice. It does do a wee bit of damage. There's plenty of Percivals on the ground though. They're going to do more damage. That is a good amount. Nuke goes out from playing, and questions where the hell is that going. A laser upgrade on the way for Zoop. He's in a bad place to do that though. Bound by the Thota, kills the energies. T3 PG is right beside him, so he dies a horrible death. Percival's up behind now in range of the lightning storm that's going to inevitably pop out and kill them off. The left hand side, the monkey has shoot away these bricks, had a good go. Playing with a problem over here, another monkey coming on in. Broadsword overhead again, and we've got a single Percival back here having fun with artillery. Going to slow those down. Nukes on the right hand side. Could have nukes down here. There's no SMD over here. Nuking that would have been great. Kill off a whole bunch of eco, kill off willpower, kill off that, kill off the disruptor. That's insane. Another monkey down here though that is facing up against a monkey, a satellite and a fat boy. That's not going to last too much longer. So monkey on the right, chicken coming down the middle. Pick your thing to kill. Which one is it going to be? Well, perhaps it's going to be the monkey, because that has been spotted, and some ravages are opening up on that. The satellite is going on over, going to have a Zorch on that, but the chicken walking up the middle is the bigger threat. And the monkey is going to die horrible deaths, but the chicken is going to say hello, and is going to romp through what remains of playing space. He does not have enough to stop both of these things. This monkey dies, chicken's alive. Chicken is going to get focused down next. Monkey comes up and starts pouring laser fire into it, but taking a lot of damage. So is the chicken though. Between the monkey fire, the ravages, and the fat boy is actually dying pretty quickly. Down to 17,000 health. Fat boy not too far away. The ravages open up on it as well, but the nuke is under threat. Well, one of the nukes anyway. And the chicken is gonna die. Yes, no, maybe. Couple of ranks of Veteracy at the most opportune time for the chicken, just as it was about to go. Kills off basically the rest of playing 33's base, and now the chicken dies, and 33, well, he's got nothing left. He has nothing left on the ground. He's getting hammered by Mobile T380. A grab is coming in as well, and he throws out the control key in the face of a fairly well played game by team number 2.